The Florida Department of Transportation, or FDOT, welcomes you to the public meeting for the Barrier Island Project Development and Environment, or PD&E study. We appreciate your attendance and participation. The purpose of this PD&E study is to evaluate engineering and environmental data and document information that will aid Manatee County, City of Holmes Beach, City of Bradenton Beach, Sarasota-Manatee Metropolitan Planning Organization, or MPO, FDOT District 1, and the FDOT Office of Environmental Management in determining the type, preliminary design, and location of the proposed improvements. The purpose of this public meeting is to provide you the opportunity to ask questions and express your views concerning the proposed alternatives under consideration. FDOT is also asking local governments and regulatory agencies to provide comments about the project. The study is located on State Road 789 and begins north of Longboat Pass Bridge and extends to just south of State Road 64, and then at Gulf Drive, or City Road 789, from State Road 64 to White Avenue, or 85th Street, approximately 6 miles in length. State Road 64, or Manatee Avenue, is not part of the study limits. The project is located on Anna Maria Island in Manatee County, within the Bradenton Beach and Holmes Beach city limits. State Road 789 and Gulf Drive serve as important north-south corridors along the Barrier Island. State Road 789 is a designated evacuation route during emergencies and connects to other evacuation routes, including State Road 64 and State Road 684. State Road 789 is a scenic highway and connects to the Sun Trail network. City Road 789, or Gulf Drive in Holmes Beach, connects to State Road 64, an evacuation route. The land use along the project includes residential, commercial, and recreational. The study area offers several ways to get around, including 4 Manatee County area transit bus routes, 47 bus stops, the Bradenton Beach Old Town Tram, and the Gulf Island Ferry. Even with these options, there are still safety issues and gaps, especially at mid-block crossings, where some locations lack flashing beacons or proper lighting. A recent multimodal analysis recommends closing the bicycle and pedestrian gaps, creating more consistent crossings, and improving lighting to make travel safer and more connected for everyone. This project aims to enhance safety, accommodate biking and walking, and improve connections between multimodal transportation options. The build alternatives will support connections to the Sun Trail network, enhance linkage to the multimodal improvements planned as part of the future bridge replacements to the island, and enhance connectivity and access to current and future transportation choices like the trolley service and the Gulf Island Ferry. The next phase of the project, the design phase, is not currently funded in FDOT's 5-year work program. Within the project limits, State Road 789 and Gulf Drive are 2-lane undivided roadways. In many areas, shoulders, sidewalks, or bike lanes are missing, making the corridor insufficient for safely supporting people traveling by foot, bike, or other modes. The State Road 789 segment of the project is classified as an urban major collector and extends from north of Longboat Pass Bridge to State Road 64, approximately 3.8 miles. The Gulf Drive or City Road 789 segment of the project is within the city of Holmes Beach, from north of State Road 64 to White Avenue or 85th Street, approximately 2.2 miles. This segment of Gulf Drive is owned and maintained by the city of Holmes Beach. No bridges are being evaluated as part of this study. Throughout this study, a no-build alternative is also considered. The no-build alternative assumes that no improvements are made to State Road 789 and Gulf Drive through the year 2046, except routine maintenance. The existing 6-mile corridor has a mix of roadway widths, walking, and biking conditions that change from one section to the next. In Section 1, State Road 789 is a 2-lane road within approximately 200 feet of existing right-of-way. Within the available right-of-way are 4 to 5 foot wide paved shoulders that are also used as bike lanes. A 10-foot wide pathway runs along the west or beach side. In sections 2, 4, and 6, the sections narrow to about 50 feet of right-of-way and include a 2-lane roadway with 5-foot wide paved shoulders and a 5-foot wide sidewalk on the east side. On the west, where most of the beach access points are, sidewalks are limited or missing. In Section 3, the right-of-way widens to about 100 feet. The roadway includes 2 travel lanes with 4-foot wide bike lanes on both sides, and sidewalks ranging from 4 to 8 feet wide. In Section 5, the right-of-way narrows down to about 40 feet, with 2 travel lanes and no paved shoulders or sidewalks. Build Alternative 1 was created to enhance safety for all users, improve biking and walking, and strengthen connections to multimodal transportation options while reducing and avoiding impacts along the 6-mile corridor. Build Alternative 1 is available for you to review at the in-person and live online public meetings and on the project website. The proposed typical sections and improvements for each section of roadway is presented on the displays. FDOT is evaluating 3 options for the intersection at State Road 789 or Gulf Drive and State Road 684 or Cortez Road. The traffic signal and operations for all options are similar. All options require additional right-of-way and have moderate to high potential utility impacts. Intersection Option A requires full reconstruction of the intersection to minimize and avoid impacts as much as possible. 6-foot wide sidewalks would be added to both sides of State Road 789 to improve pedestrian access, but no dedicated bike lanes would be added, leaving limited space for cyclists. While it improves safety and walkability, it also has a high potential for utility impacts because of the additional right-of-way needs. This option may result in impacts to 5 parcels. No residential displacements are expected. Option A would be the most disruptive of all the options to travelers during construction. Intersection Option B improves walkability and cycling by providing a 6-foot wide sidewalk along the southeast side of State Road 789, as well as 6-foot wide sidewalks and 5-foot wide dedicated bike lanes along the other sides of State Road 789. This option separates cyclists from pedestrians, but requires a shift in alignment to the west and widening on both sides of the road. This option may result in impacts to 12 parcels. No residential displacements are expected. Minor impacts to the beach or coastal scrub are anticipated with this option. Intersection Option C maintains the existing roadway alignment but requires widening on both sides of the road. This option improves walkability and cycling similar to Option B. Option C provides a 6-foot wide sidewalk along the southeast side of State Road 789 and 10-foot wide sidewalks along the other sides of State Road 789 for shared use. This option may result in impacts to 12 parcels. No residential displacements are expected. Similar to Option B, minor impacts to the beach or coastal scrub are also anticipated with this option. As a result of previous stakeholder input, 2 alternatives were developed for the section of Gulf Drive and Holmes Beach between 58th Street and Palm Drive. Build Alternative 1Y was developed to maximize walkability and cycling by including 8-foot wide sidewalks on each side of Gulf Drive for shared use between bicyclists and pedestrians. Alternative 1Z was developed to provide a separate space for cyclists and includes 5-foot wide sidewalks and dedicated 5-foot wide bike lanes along both sides of Gulf Drive. The study area on the barrier island faces natural drainage challenges because the land is very flat and the water table is high, which makes it difficult for rainwater to drain after heavy storms. As a result, parts of State Road 789 and Gulf Drive experience localized flooding during intense rain events. To help reduce these issues, several improvements are recommended, including adding small areas of roadway overbuild for positive drainage, installing trench drains, and creating vegetated swales to collect and treat stormwater naturally. Additional upgrades include adding curb and gutter systems with inlets, increasing stormwater pipe sizes, and providing new outfalls. Together, these improvements aim to reduce flooding and make the corridor more resilient during major rain events. The study area on the barrier island is home to important natural resources, including high-quality coastal scrub habitat located adjacent to State Road 789. This type of habitat supports a variety of native plants and wildlife and is considered one of Florida's valuable coastal ecosystems. The corridor also borders Sarasota Bay, which is a designated outstanding Florida water, meaning it has exceptional environmental value and receives the highest level of protection in the state. Based on current environmental reviews and impact assessments, no significant impacts to protected species are anticipated as part of this project. Coordination will continue with environmental agencies to ensure these sensitive habitats remain protected as planning moves forward. This PD&E study is ongoing. Project team members will continue to develop, refine, and evaluate alignment alternatives for State Road 789 and Gulf Drive throughout the remainder of the study. Potential environmental effects associated with the proposed build alternatives are under careful evaluation and include detailed studies of protected species and habitat, wetlands and floodplains, water quality and stormwater management and permitting, right-of-way requirements and relocations, contamination, archaeological and historical resources, recreational sites, construction effects, and coastal barrier resources. Based on data already collected, we do not anticipate significant effects associated with the build alternative. The evaluation matrix included in your handout and on display shows a summary of results of preliminary analysis for the build and no-build alternatives. This matrix is also on display this evening. Your comments will help the department to make its selection of the preferred alternative. We encourage you to submit your comments at the in-person meeting, through the project webpage, or by email or mail to the project team. Though comments are accepted at any time, they must be received or postmarked by March 9, 2026, to be included in the formal public meeting record. The project team will consider all comments and, where feasible, will incorporate them into the development of the preferred alternative. FDOT will present the preferred alternative at an upcoming formal public hearing for this project, which is tentatively scheduled for late 2026. At the end of this study, FDOT will finalize the preferred alternative for State Road 789 and Gulf Drive. We will mail project newsletters to keep you informed about the study's progress. If you would like to receive future newsletters and you are not on our mailing list, please fill out the meeting comment form or submit a request through the project webpage. The department anticipates completion of this PD&E study by late 2026, when location and design concept of the preferred alternative will be submitted to the FDOT Office of Environmental Management for approval. The PD&E study is one phase of the FDOT transportation project development process. At this time, design, right-of-way, and construction phases are not funded in the FDOT's adopted 5-year work program. The Barrier Island PD&E study team is here tonight to answer your questions and discuss the project. We invite you to ask them your questions and to review all the aerial maps, plans, and illustrations. This PD&E study is being conducted and completed according to the requirements of the National Environmental Policy Act and other related federal and state laws, rules, and regulations, which will qualify future phases of this project for federal funding. For additional information on all rules and regulations this meeting follows, please see the Federal and State Requirements Board. Thank you for your interest in the proposed Barrier Island State Road 789 and Gulf Drive improvements and for taking time to participate in this meeting. We look forward to your comments and your continued involvement in this important PD&E study. And finally, an FDOT safety moment. Speeding creates serious risks by making it harder to control a vehicle, reducing the effectiveness of safety features, increasing the distance needed to stop, and causing crashes to be far more severe. It also wastes fuel and raises driving costs. FDOT thanks you for making safety a continued priority.